Hey guys, it's again, and this is my review for the season premiere of Big Brother 18, Episode 1. I was obviously really looking forward to this season premiere. I look forward to Big Brother every single year, and especially after last year's season, which was a pretty stellar season in my mind. Now, was it a perfect season? No, there were some people I really did not like last season, but it was really entertaining, and it actually wasn't boring. I actually enjoyed myself a lot last season, despite who actually ended up winning. The fact that Steve ended up winning, I still am not okay with that, and I actually forgot that Steve won. I keep forgetting every time people remind me, like, oh yeah, Steve won, because that really, I mean, after such a good season, that just kind of had to kill it. But I was looking forward to the season for many reasons. One, because there was a possibility that it could be all-stars. A lot of people were talking about that, but then they announced the rest of the cast was going to be, but then I heard there was still going to be 4 returnees, and I'm like, alright, that's really cool that they're doing that, because they did that in Big Brother 13, Big Brother 14, that worked pretty well there, which, those are two seasons that I actually really enjoyed, and two, it probably, I mean, I'm not going to say they're the best seasons, because, again, I've only seen 12 through 17, as you guys know, so, this is, I don't know how many years I've been watching it by now. I'm like this one guy. I'm like Paul on the show. I can't do math, which we'll get into Paul in a second. But overall, let me just say, pretty good premiere. I really enjoyed this premiere overall. I thought it was definitely really good, and they definitely are really trying to step it up this year, because a lot of people have been saying, oh, Big Brother's the same every single year. They have a twist, it does nothing. But really, this twist, the twists that they added this season are really interesting, and really, I think, are detrimental to the game, and I'm looking forward to seeing really how it's going to affect the game and things like that. But let's just get into this premiere overall, because at first I'm going to do the thing that I usually do, where I go through each house guest, talk about the new ones, talk about the ones I like, things like that, and then I'll talk more about what ended up unfolding. So let's get into each of the house guests first. We're introduced to each of the house guests, and let's talk about them. I'm going to go in order. First of all, talking about Bridget. She's a traveling nurse and she's 24. I like her. I think she's good. She's a little too peppy. I'll definitely say she's a bit too peppy for my taste. I don't think she's bad. I just think she's a little too peppy, and I think that she seems like a floater to me. She seems like she's not going to do much, and she seems like she doesn't really think she's going to get picked much, and I'm hoping that that self-consciousness that she has ends up going away, and that she ends up actually getting a lot more confident, because I would like to see that. Right now, I'm not a huge fan of her. I don't think she's bad. I just don't really love her, like I do some of the others. Some of them I really do like, but she's someone that I'm not really a fan of, and I think she's going to get better as the season goes on. It's just this particular episode, she just seemed kind of annoying. I'm definitely going to admit that. The one person I really want to talk about is Bronte, because Bronte is probably one of the most shocking players we've had in a while, because you look at Bronte, you listen to her voice, it's like, I'm watching the Flintstones. Like, it literally sounds like Pebbles Flintstone or something. That's what I thought of when I heard her. I mean, it really just sounded like a cartoon character, and, it was ridiculous. It really was. The first time I saw the video, I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to deal with, her this season. But then when you listen to her, she's actually a very strategic and very smart player. She knows what's going on with numbers, and the fact that she's not telling all the house guests that she's this smart, I think is a very good strategy, and honestly, I think Bronte is going to go really, really far. I'm really looking forward to seeing how she does in the game. She has a very good advantage in the sense that they think that she's some ditzy girl who's just a regular California girl who's kind of ditzy, and especially because of her voice, they're probably led on to think that, but she's actually not like that. She's obviously very smart, she's counting things, and I'm hoping that this does get her very far. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what she does in the game, and definitely I think honestly, I think she has a chance of winning. I could really see Bronte winning, and I know it's kind of early to say, oh, I think they could win, but honestly, out of all of them, like out of the newbies, I think Bronte has the best advantage. She really, I think is very smart. I think she's playing a very good game, and probably out of all the best social games, she's probably definitely one of the ones that in my mind is playing one of the best social games without a doubt. Now, here's the one I was a bit upset about, was Corey Brooks, because before, I heard that he said a lot of, like, homophobic comments and things like that, but he seems like a nice guy, I'll definitely say that. He does seem a bit, kind of like, oh, I'm kind of your just boring guy that's here to, like, attract the girls and things like that. I like him overall. I think he's a good guy. I like his interactions in the show. He does a good job. Not really much to say about him. I do like him overall. Glenn, I feel so bad for this guy. He's 50 years old. I think he's the oldest since Donnie in a while. Actually, Donnie was 38, so he's the oldest since, Big Brother 10 Dan season. I can't think of the guy who was, but he definitely, I like Glenn overall. It's just he keeps falling off things, and he just can't, he's not really, you know, playing in the same way that they are, and I feel like he's not up to, you know, he's not in the same place that they are. He's not up to speed with the rest of them, and he just doesn't have some of the strength that they do, and I think that is going to be a real weakness for him in the game, and I hope he doesn't get sent home, but I feel like he definitely does have a chance of going home. Unfortunately, I'm hoping he's going to outsmart them. You know, we'll have to see, but right now, Glenn, I mean, you know, he's a cool guy, and I like his attitude and everything, and when you look at him, he's like Robert De Niro, but he's not really that strong, and I get that he's old and everything, but he kept falling off things, and just, I don't really know if this was the best game for him. I'm gonna say that. I don't really know why exactly he's here. I get that he wants to win $1 million, but I just don't really know if Big Brother's the right game for him. I really don't. Josiah, this guy, Josiah, I hate this kid. I hate this guy. I'm not gonna lie. I hate this guy. I think he's annoying. I think he's way too sassy. There's a good kind of sassy and a bad kind of sassy, and just something about this guy rubs me the wrong way. I do not like this guy. I think he's annoying. I think he's really just arrogant, and I'm not a fan of him at all. I don't like Josiah. He's not the worst of the ones we're introduced, but just out of all of them, I don't like him. I really don't like him, and I think he's just really annoying. Michelle, I think, is fantastic. I really do love Michelle overall, and she's also very smart. Again, she gives me that Nicole vibe. She talks the same as Nicole, which we'll get into that in a little bit. But, you know, she talks like Nicole. They both do that thing where they're like, and, they both say and like that. You know, she's a nutritionist, and she's also really smart, and I think that's really going to get her far. I really think she has a very good chance of winning the game, and, you know, again, I'm saying, you know, they have a very good chance, but this is a good season for players that are very smart, and I think she definitely is very smart. It's going to get her far, and she definitely is really good. Natalie, let me just say it, Natalie is probably the hottest girl on the show. Definitely, I always have that one hot girl, and Natalie is that girl this season. She definitely is very hot. Is she smart? No. She's not really smart. I definitely will say that. Watch her casting interview. She's not very smart. She didn't, when she was in the diary room, she did not realize she was in the diary room. I do think that she's fun. She's going to be good TV. But she's just not smart. She's Liz, basically. You know, she's probably going to be good at a couple things, but she's just not a very smart girl, and she's going to be the Liz of the season, which is fine, because Liz was nice to stare at, and, you know, she was a bit annoying last season, definitely, and then Julia came in and outsmarted her, and then Julia was actually dumber. But Natalie, I like her overall. I think she's going to be fun to watch, and, you know, definitely, like I said, probably the hottest of the season. Let's talk about, okay, now we're going to get to the guy that I had the most problems with, and I'm sure you guys are going to agree with me. Let's talk about Paul. Oh, Paul. Oh, my God. Okay. So, how do I describe Paul? You guys remember Austin from last season. I kind of liked Austin in the beginning of the game. When he wasn't with Liz and that whole situation, he was kind of a chill guy. He seemed like he was going to be kind of chill. It seemed like he was going to, you know, hang out with Vanessa, maybe have some sort of alliance with her, and it seemed like it was going to take him far. And then he was with Liz, and he just fell in love with her, and nothing else mattered to him, and then he went out with no shoes and everything. But this guy is so much worse. The Judas personality that Austin supposedly says he has, that is Paul. Paul is the Judas personality. I hate this guy. I fucking hate this guy. I can't stand him. And honestly, if I had to pick one house guest that I want gone, it's Paul. I can't stand this guy. Let me just say this. There is a difference between confidence and just being so callous and so mean-spirited and just so off-color, and that's exactly what Paul is. He has something to say about everything. He's one of those guys that loves to hear himself talk, and yeah, there are people like that have gone very far, but this guy's just annoying. He's annoying. He's constantly just, you know, hating on everyone. He doesn't really want to ally with anyone. It's like, if you don't want to ally with these people, why the hell are you in this game? Because it really doesn't seem like he feels in this game at all. He's like, oh, I got this down perfectly, and I really want to see him fail miserably, because I hate this guy. I really am not a fan of him, and out of all the people introduced in this episode, he was the one where I'm just like, get off my screen, I hate you. I could not stand him. He was annoying, and I really hope that he ends up going home very soon. He's not going to go home yet because of what happens in this episode, which is kind of pissing me off, but I just hope he really does go home soon. Paulie, Cody's brother, I like this guy. I think he's good. I think he's really cool. I like that, and something I do like is that Cody is not, and Paulie is not at all like Cody. He's not as smart as Cody. He did reveal that he was, you know, Cody's brother, and I don't know if that was the best thing to do. I really don't. I think probably the best thing he could have done, I don't really think that was the best thing he should have done. He definitely, there could have been something, you know, he definitely shouldn't have done that. I think definitely, definitely, I don't think that he should have done that. I think he could have handled it a lot better than he did. I understand you want to put a target on his back, but that really does put a target on his back. And I understand that Alyssa, yes, that almost did kill her game. The fact that she denied that she was Rachel's sister, even though it was pretty obvious. But Paulie, it's not really obvious. Like, they don't sound the same. They, yes, are both, very fit and things like that, but they don't sound the same. They kind of look the same, but they're not really the same. And I think Paulie, he really could have gotten away without telling people he was Cody's brother, for a while. He really could have gone away with that. I like him overall. He seems like a nice guy. It just doesn't seem like he's really that smart, and I definitely am going to say that. He's definitely not very smart. Tiffany, on the other hand, I think is playing an awesome game, and I think she's definitely doing a very good job, but it honestly might end up killing her in the end, because a lot of people can tell that she's Vanessa's sister, especially Michelle, who confronts her, and Tiffany thinks that Michelle is Nicole's sister, which honestly I think is hilarious, because Michelle and Nicole are so similar, and I said that right off the bat that they are so similar. But Tiffany, I like her overall. I think she's definitely hotter than Vanessa. I'll definitely say Vanessa was not attractive at all. Tiffany actually is attractive, and I do think that her looks will get her far, things like that. And I like that she's saying, look, I'm willing to flirt with the guy, willing to flirt with the girl. I like seeing that. I think that's really good. But I just don't know if she's going to be as strong as Vanessa. It already seems like she's kind of outnumbered by some other players who have really big egos. This is like the season of egos. There are a lot of people that have big egos, and I think that definitely is going to be a problem for her. I'm hoping she does well. It's just she didn't do much here. Now, yes, this is only the premiere, and we haven't really seen what she can do. She, by far, I think, is going to be the smartest, because she's going into this game knowing the game her sister played, knowing the game her sister couldn't get to finish, and I really feel like she has this attitude that I'm going to finish what she started. Vanessa didn't get to win, I'm going to try to win, and we're going to see how that goes. I'm hoping that she ends up victorious, because I like her overall, and she's not annoying. Like, she doesn't overthink things like Vanessa does either, so I do like her overall. But again, I liked Vanessa, and then we know what happened with that, so Tiffany, we'll see what happens with her. I hope things turn out well for her, but right now, I just feel like she's kind of outnumbered. Victor, I like this guy. I think Victor's really funny. I feel like I'm listening to the Jane the Virgin narrator when he starts talking Spanish, but I like his crush on Natalie. I'm hoping these two start a showmance, because that's going to be really funny. But we see that Corey also does like her, and Corey also has a man crush on Victor. I'm looking forward to seeing how things work out for Victor and Natalie. I'm hoping they start some sort of a showmance before the season ends. I like Victor overall, and he's a fun guy. And then Zakia, I don't know about this girl. Something about her I just don't like. She's trying to be Devon. She's not Devon. She's definitely more of a Jocasta and less of a Devon. She literally said in this premiere, I'm not going to play. I'm not going to play. I don't care. And it's like, alright, you don't want to play? Sit back. Alright, good luck going home on week 2. Because literally, yes, being a floater is a good strategy, but it's better to be remembered as someone that did something than just be a straight up floater. And it's really annoying. That's all I think of the new house guests, how I feel about the 12, and I will say that definitely I don't think this cast is nearly as good as last year's. There were a lot more bigger personalities last year, and this cast, I don't really love them in the way that I do. I feel like I'll eventually warm up to them, but right now, something about them I just don't love in the way I did last year's. Last year's I loved right away, and this year's I just don't really love them in the way I've, probably because Big Brother 16 was not great. It's probably because Big Brother 17 was good. This, I think, is going to be a really great season, but mainly because of the twist. Because the twists this season are awesome, but let's just get into those twists, because that really is what made this episode so great. First of all, let me just say that I really do compliment Les Moonves, the president of CBS, because they made this premiere finally 2 hours, and that is something they should have done a long time ago, because everyone has said for years that this feels so rushed, and this didn't feel rushed at all. They took their time, they were able to show things that they probably wouldn't have been able to show had they not taken their time, and because of the 2-night premiere, this was 2 hours. I thought it was well done they did 2 hours, and it needed to be 2 hours. It really did. There was a lot to cover, and I'm glad they covered what they did here. And probably the thing I was most looking forward to were what they call the Stowaways, in which were the 4 mystery house guests. Now, I pretty much knew who they were because there were rumors that they were going to be here, but the 4 house guests that came back were Devon, Frank, James, and Nicole, and I'm so happy these 4 get a chance, because it's interesting because Frank, James, and Nicole all were evicted in 7th place, and Devon really didn't get to play much of a game last year. I don't think Devon was a terrible player. I think she just didn't really play the game that she wanted to. She was very not judgmental, that's not the word, but she just, she was in a house full of drama. She caused a lot of the drama. She got herself involved in a lot of it, and yes, she was calling someone out, but it just wasn't the right time to do that. She was targeting Shelly's boyfriend, automatically ruining their alliance, and that really is what tarnished her gameplay, but I'm glad that she's back. Frank got a haircut, so that's interesting. Frank seems like he's laying really low. I've never actually talked about Frank because I didn't review Big Brother 14. Probably one of my favorite seasons, just such a good season. You know, there's so much good stuff in that season. Ian winning, and then Dan's strategy, and between, like, Boogie and Brittany being on. That's one of the best seasons in Big Brother we've had. But Frank is back, awesome to see. Frank was someone that I don't really think got to play his own game, though, because he was so tight with Boogie and Frank that he didn't really get to play his own game, and this gives him the chance to play that said social game that he never really got to play in Big Brother 14 because he had such a safety net with those two players. James, on the other hand, it's awesome to see James back. I think it's going to be awesome to see who he ends up flirting with this year, and I hope that James does actually play James was awesome to watch last season. He's just really entertaining. It's great to see him. And as far as Nicole goes, I mean, you guys know how much I love Nicole. I'm so happy that she finally gets another chance at playing. Do I think she's going to win? I don't know. I don't know if she's going to win. I think it's a very slim chance that she will win. I don't really know what's going to happen there. That's going to be very interesting to see if she actually does end up winning. Want to see what happens with that, but I'm very happy to see the Stowaways are back. But basically, then we get the twist that not only are these Stowaways going to be playing in the game, they're going to be playing in teams. And I think it's actually a really clever twist the way that's done, because it's not something like a takeover where it's just, oh, something random happens. This is a legit twist, and it's a really well done twist, and it's a twist that I think really could change a lot of the format of the season, because right away, we can tell the newbies want absolutely nothing to do with the vets, and it seems like we're going to have a newbies versus vets season, and even though they're on teams, it still seems like they want nothing to do with the vets. They want nothing to do with them. They take a very big, you know, they take a very lack of disinterest in Nicole, and it seems like those four show up, nothing happens. They're not happy to see them. It's just kind of like, oh, hey, you're here, and I get why, though, because this is supposed to be their season. They're invading their season. The thing that about Big Brother 14, it was a great season, but let's face it, for new contestants, it was a terrible season because they never really got to do much of anything because we were so overshadowed by, like, Dan and Boogie and Brittany and Janelle. You know, those four really took up the course of that season, and because of them, the other players never really got to shine because they just felt that they were safe because they weren't vets, and I was worried that's what was going to happen. It does not seem like that's what's happening at all, because a lot of these players, like Paul, for example, who's so savage and just is so against everyone, basically wants everyone out, and he'll do whatever he can to get everyone out. I don't know if that's going to work, but he pretty much wants anyone out. The newbies start an alliance, but that is completely crumbled when they find out that they have to play on a team with people that they don't like, and I think it's very smart the way that's done. The vets then have to pick a player, and you know, some of them really do regret who they end up picking. I'm not going to say who each of them picked. I'm going to try to remember, because I don't really remember who everyone picked. I know Devon's, it was, Zakia, it was, it was Zakia, it was Paul, it was, Josiah, and then Devon, because it can only be 4 per team, which I think is really cool. It's only 4 per team. Frank's, it was, I believe, let me think, who was it on Frank's? I think it was Bronte, I believe. Frank's, I believe, is Bronte. Don't get me wrong. No, Bronte is Nicole's. I mean, this is, I don't know. Honestly, I'm trying to think who Frank's was. I'm not going to go through each one, but they each end up creating different team names, and basically the way that the game works is that the game they play is that they each have to stand on, like, this, like, human centipede, which was a gross first activity. I mean, I get that they obviously want to mingle, but this is, like, getting way too close. I mean, they don't even want to be there. I think it's kind of cool that they did such a weird activity first. I mean, last year's, I remember the competition was, like, a movie or whatever, but this year's was, like, human centipede, where they're literally mouths, like, staring at you, like, right near their ass and everything. So that was really weird the way that that was done. But Victor ends up winning it, so basically James' team is safe. They basically, and I like the way this is done, that they're safe, and not only are they safe for the next 2 weeks, and that's basically the way that that goes, so I think that's very interesting as well. And then basically we get the news that not only are they safe for 2 weeks, but that the person that loses this competition, their team is in jeopardy, not just for next week, for tomorrow. Tomorrow someone is leaving. Now, I don't know who ended up leaving. I don't know if it's going to be live tomorrow, but someone did in fact leave the house, and it's not a Jody situation. I like that it's not a Jody situation where automatically you just leave, because that wasn't fun. Jody really got nothing to do. She never really got to shine. She was there and then she was gone and that was it. But here, they really need to think hard about who they want to get rid of, and I think that's really smart, especially because, as we know, the newbies take a big disinterest in the vets and they want them gone. So I really feel the vet is in jeopardy already, and we'll talk about why as this ends. But basically, James' team ends up winning the first game and everything, and they each coming up with team names. Davon's team is Big Sister. Frank's, I believe, trying to remember what his was. Category 4 was Frank's. James was the unicorns, and then with his unicorn horns, and Nicole's was the Nicole's is the what's it called? The Freakazoids. Those are the team names, and I think those are really clever team names overall. Yeah, they're like team names you come up with in 5 minutes. No, everyone was talking about them, but it's like, really, it's not easy to come up with a team name. I've been in situations, it is not really the easiest thing to do to come up with a team name, and I'm happy they were able to come up with something, because I didn't actually know if they come up with one, but they did in fact come up with a team name. And then we get the third twist, which I think is really clever, that there's another game they have to play, and this game is not like the other one. This game is basically way different. This game is in 3 rounds, and the other 3 teams that didn't win, they have to face off, and the last team that remains, they are automatically in jeopardy of leaving, getting evicted tomorrow. So I think that's very interesting. And then whoever ends up winning, they are, they will choose who the new HOH is. So we don't know who the new HOH is at the end of this episode, and I think it's interesting the way that was done. It really does create some really cool dynamics that I really did enjoy, and I thought that was really well done, how that was all handled. I definitely really did enjoy that. But let's talk about that overall, because there was a lot to talk about there. I really like this last competition. Basically, it was kind of like a Jenga game almost, where you had to stack these pieces, and you had to be very careful, because if they all fell, it's one of those games where it could all fall over you, so the whole team needs to work together, and I think it's a very clever way that's done. I really feel bad for Davon, though, because her entire team wants her gone. Her entire team hates her. I hate everyone on Davon's team, really. I can't stand a single person on her team. Zakiya, for me, she's just way too... She's trying to be like Davon. She's not Davon. I don't like her. Josiah, I think, is way too sassy, and Paul's just extremely arrogant, and I can't stand any of them. And I really do feel bad for Davon, because she really regrets picking these players. And a lot of people are going to say, oh, she picked them, but really, they picked them, remember, guys, without knowing anything about them. And Julie said this, that they were hidden in the house without knowing anything, prior knowledge about the house guests, and they just had to pick them at random. So really, it's not their fault. This is kind of like what happened to Big Brother 14. The difference is they're not coaches, so it doesn't really matter to them. The only thing that matters is that, holy shit, my team could be in jeopardy and I could be going home. There's that, which I think really adds some really interesting stuff there, because let's face it, the coach's twist was really dumb, but it ended up becoming way better when they actually entered the game. That's when the season got amazing. But this, I do like that they're in the game. I like that they're not coaches. I like they actually do get a chance here, and it's not just them lounging around all season trying to win money. I think that's kind of dumb that they did that, and I like that they are in fact playing the game. Basically, Davon's not happy about the way her team is going, because they're all against her. Frank's team pretty much is killing it. James' team pretty much is just sitting and lounging, because they actually won. And it's down to the final 2. Frank's team ends up winning the first round, and then it's Davon and Nicole in the second round, basically. And Davon's team ends up winning. Nicole's team is now in jeopardy. We don't know, basically... The Freakazoids are now in jeopardy. Someone's going to go home. And Nicole's team, I believe it's Victor, it's Corey, and it's Bronte. And those 3 are definitely in jeopardy of going home. We don't know what's going to happen there. They're probably, one of them's going to get evicted. Nicole thinks that she's going to get evicted. That is how we end this episode. I thought it was a good way to end things overall. I definitely really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good start. And, again, for a 2-hour premiere, there really was a lot they packed into this 2-hour premiere. I definitely will say that. So overall, guys, very interesting stuff that we have here, because there are a lot of different dynamics here, especially with this whole team situation. It really forces all of them to bond, but you can already tell that Paul really wants nothing to do with Davon's team, and he really just wants all of them gone, and I'm really not going to be looking forward to seeing, Davon leave a conversation, then Paul being like, I want this fucking bitch out. Just, that's annoying. It's annoying. It's not fun. It's just annoying, seeing this guy just plotting against someone who's on his team. There's no reason to do that. There's literally no reason to do that. Unless you are the losing team, there's no reason to be plotting against her. And I feel like, you know, Paul's going to be like a Devin. He's going to be like, you know, a Jace last season. He's going to be like those players that just are there to cause drama. And that's all he's going to do. He's going to cause tons of drama. He's going to try to ruin everything. And he's going to end up losing really badly because of it. I really don't see Paul going very far at all. Other than that, though, I really quite enjoyed this episode. It was a really different premiere. I thought it was really cool the way they tried to change up dynamics, and I like they are trying to do something way different, because it's about time they do. I mean, they tried it last season, didn't really work at all. I'm glad to see Davon, Frank, James, and Nicole back. I think that's awesome. And I forgot to say that Davon's team are the have-nots, so there's that at least, but they are the have-nots. We don't know who the HOH is going to be next, you know, tomorrow night. We get nominations tomorrow night, and someone is going home tomorrow night, so I don't know who that's going to be. If I had to guess, I don't want to say it's going to be Nicole. I'm hoping it's not, but we know that they really are not a fan of the vets, and Nicole could definitely be someone that could be going home, so I don't want to say she's going home, but I feel like she has a chance of going home, definitely. If I had to pick, though, out of the ones, you know, out of the new ones, I'd probably say on her team, probably Corey, because he just seems like he's a very good physical player, and that's something that could really hurt their game. So Corey, I feel like he's going to go home. You know, he's kind of like the pretty boy and everything, so I feel like he's going to end up going home. We'll have to see how that all goes down. But let me know what you guys saw this premiere. Love to hear your thoughts on it. I really did enjoy this premiere overall. I'm looking forward to this season. I'm looking forward to tomorrow night's eviction, and I'm just glad that Big Brother's back. I always love reviewing Big Brother to you guys. You know, Big Brother, I really get into it last year. I'm hoping I warm up to this cast. Not that I don't like them. It's just there's a lot of them, like Josiah and Paul. I am not a fan of them at all. I want them gone. I really cannot stand them. They're not funny. They're just annoying. But let me know what you guys saw this season. You know, what did you think of this episode? I mean, what are you looking forward to this season? Do you like the changes that were made this season? Do you like the whole team situation? How do you feel about Paulie revealing that he's Cody's brother? I think that's really going to hurt his game in the end. Tiffany not revealing that she's Vanessa's sister. Is that a good thing? We'll have to see how that goes, because that could make or break her game. So that's going to be interesting to see how that all goes down. But let me know what you guys saw this episode. Love to hear your thoughts on it. And we'll see you guys in my next video, which will be for tonight's episode of Wayward Pines, and we'll see you guys for that. Okay, bye.